Welcome everyone to even more live Linux. Actually, after yesterday's live stream, of course, we support 24 freaking architecture combination, and then the next best person's like, yeah, YOLO, by the way. What about 32-bit SPARC? But I even mentioned that we could just selectively downgrade some components because glibc only works on SPARC version 8 plus or something of Leon, Geyser research of synthesizable and used in space, ESR and stuff, I heard, SPARC. But yeah, selectively, and I've done that even last night. I thought, now let's maybe try build it, because why not? And turns out I actually had this last glibc overlay in SPARC, so I'm not even sure why we didn't really quite build it last time. But yeah, we easily can, probably, hopefully, maybe. Let's quickly do that. I'm only mostly through, of course, last night. Okay, atomic fetch. That will be a couple of those. We simply conditionally add libatomic, which we also selectively downgraded because the latest version, similar story of atomic. The problem is the early SPARC 32-bit version 7 and 8. And by the way, I think I mentioned this in the live stream, but if you know why they started with version 7, leave me know. That would be really interesting to know. Do we also put this at the I wonder if maybe they internally counted other stuff like version 1, maybe they also had Motorola 68K Sun machines, Unix machines and stuff. Maybe it is that, I have no idea. It's a little bit funny, or whatever, the other internal products and prototypes, who knows what. Anyway, so version 7 was the first SPARC implementation, and that didn't even had hardware multiply. It had I need to, I think version 7, I think it had the like hardware divide step, like SDiv, like one step of division or something, let alone atomic stuff. That previously was building, I had even a previous video if you want to see that stuff. Maybe I have it here, obviously, the SPARC Station 2, but unfortunately support for that was removed from the Linux kernel at 3 point something, 12 maybe, 3.12, 3.8, something like that, yeah. With this conditional libatomic, so the compiler is generating atomic calls to libatomic because the CPU doesn't do that natively. So that there is some locking involved and stuff, and I wonder if for some architecture I actually added that to everything, like next to everything. Actually, wonder which one that was. But or maybe I have it installed in the copy and paste buffer. So what we could actually do is like adding that to everything. We're doing this with -WL as needed, so that it would only link to that if it actually used any symbol of that shared object. Instead of selectively adding that, oh, darn. The benefit, I mean, there are very small pros and cons. One is you have an overview of what packages require that. On the other hand, I'm actually not even, also we did this wrong. I think we did this wrong. Not really sure if it's that useful to know which package actually use that. We're not building Firefox or OpenOffice though. Okay, that even freaking works. I wonder though, with QEMU, we also want to test more, like more unit and continuous integration testing. And I think there is also some QEMU bug with SPARC. Do they know all need? What do they do here inline? This morning. Okay, that is a fun one. A0 fetch and sub1 full. Oh, wait a second. This is even. Okay, that is also not ideal. Cairo atomic private. Nah. What we could do is date. Also, yeah, now we have drop frames. Because, yeah, Yesterday some Vodafone technician was in the basement and changed some cables and amplifier and stuff. But of course it's not yet amazing. I tested that. I had 6 Mbits of our, we pay for 50, but apparently 6 is not stable enough. Of course 1000 drop frames already. Let's use 2. So nothing like a 2 Mbit live stream over a freaking Vodafone line. Let's downdate that a little bit. Like maybe like so. We later would need to. I've done that, so that's not permanent. This is only for testing. That saves me like doing that for real. Okay, all the other stuff. But actually, we can then commit already. Mesa. There we need also 2008. I accidentally deleted that because I fat finger clobbered some VI stuff and deleted some stuff. That is why we need to restore that. As simple as that. Oops. So we only want to add that. So previously we had this workaround. This still doesn't work. Fixed. Yeah, so some stuff will be a little bit older. I'm not fixing this Cairo stuff. Like for real, I just use an older version. And I will store that permanently. When we figure it out in a minute, hopefully, which is the last Cairo version that hopefully just builds for SPARC. So 32-bit SPARC, then we put this into an overlay. So Mesa. So previously, the other day, I thought we only need this thin archive binutils regression thing for little Indian SPARC, but it turns out we also need PowerPC. This still doesn't work. It's actually super. I mean, we could. It's really crazy how long they used that already then. We could of course simply create some target without Cairo, but for now let's see if we find that. So another challenge is then, this Cairo is a little bit unexpected, but this is also a recurring reminder how many normal, regular looking, appearing packages do special stuff. It's also, in my opinion, really currently not amazing that packages run their own atomic stuff. But yeah, that's what it is. Ah, shit. We will get some old shit compiled. So the other thing is, if other dependencies fail, not really sure how 110 it has significantly older. So apply Mesa, Meson, thin archive hotfix for PC64. But yeah, not only old vintage stuff. Oh shit, still. The crazy thing is, not too long ago, like 2 years ago, I actually built a. This is crazy. How long are they using it already? I expected a lot, but not Cairo. That is the crazy stuff, right? The more you do, the more you see, the more you wonder. I hope some other depths still build. I have the feeling maybe not. That doesn't build now? Maybe that wasn't marked to cross build yet. No, let's see how that is going. So, fresh code. Are there any random updates while we wait for that build? We could actually check. I remember that some other regular stuff like modern SPARC 64 also was not working in QEMU. SPARC V runs this. Does it? 32 plus, I think. Should that be? I think that... Oh, that even works. Okay, interesting. Because that one we built segmentation fault and I have the... Okay, we don't have that yet. What would we... like grab? Okay, interesting. Yeah, so that is the thing. I would need to test this on real hardware or whole system QEMU. There's a GNU PG version. That is a little bit disappointing. Kairos. Oh, there is Cairo. Interesting. What version did we had? Let's try something in between here. I think 110 was what we previously used. I wonder if you can hack this atomic use there a little bit away. Okay, fine, the one. Getting into really oldish territory. Okay, what does this want now? Surface backend feature, Kairos XCB surface backend feature, XCB render. Should we not have that? Proto, utils, util. What does it want? XCB render util. Not log diff, of course. Okay, actually not that much. We could for test not enable the XCB stuff. Maybe there is some incompatibility or other imperfection. Okay, it really is not the most happy. Okay, I think it has some generic problem if it doesn't find anything including that. What's going on there? Core graphics? No, thank you very much. Couldn't find libpng search path. What? Okay, that is our. There's some libpng though. What is this stuff doing? Couldn't find. What the heck is it freaking doing there? It's probably also what is the issue with XCB then? What the heck is this? Strange stuff. It checks, don't tell me it checks for PNG 1.3. PNG 1.2 also. Okay, it's maybe a little bit too old. I guess that might be the issue. See how far that goes. Just want to have some proof of concept. Certainly not daily running a SPARC station, but it is. Should we give up on this stuff? I mean, we could simply downdate the PNG to a similar version if that doesn't break other stuff. So. It's always frustrating when the least important stuff is holding you up so much. Enable PNG though. That is weird. We wrote this wrong. Yeah, super consistent naming, right? Each package names it differently, obviously. The question is then whether other for auto we build this GTK, probably. If that even has a chance. So the crazy thing is that this is the latest GCC, and that is of course a crazy match, building this decade-old stuff with some downdated glibc with the very latest GCC. That is of course also asking for a little bit of trouble. I mean, SVG and Cairo on a 40 megahertz or 100 megahertz SPARC station will of course not be particularly fast. I would be more interested if the stuff boots and has usable terminal or maybe even an X-term. Not really like targeting running GTK applications. Also, I mean, when I got started with Linux 20 plus years ago, I had a 120 megahertz Pentium, right? So, I mean, if you have a fast, the latest SPARC station, that is exactly what people actually were using as a daily driver. GNU TLS also, that might just be libatomic. GNU TLS, of course it's libatomic. Bus. Yeah, I'm still undecided. I mean, sometimes it's like I do stuff like a year and then eventually I say, okay, this is really too annoying. There's one architecture that needed libatomic for nearly every package or so, and there, I'm not sure, was it AVR32 or something, or Microblaze? But did we want GNU TLS? Is it security, GNU TLS? Yeah, this was already in there. Oops. We could actually check atomic in architecture. Yeah, well, wait a second, we have this in SPARC? Oh, we have this actually generically. Why do I add this then? Why do I have that there? Good that we checked that. I mean, the question is, everything has pros and cons, so welcome everyone. Sarkat still enjoys their Sun Ultra 10. Yeah, Ultra 10 actually is identical to my Ultra 5, right? Just another case. Happy you enjoy that. I also want to get back to a little bit. I will soon do microkernel stuff. I yesterday said we are nearly done, and then the SPARC stuff popped up. Lib11. I think the benefit is you can share packages or distribute them. I mean, maybe we delete that there for the time being, makes us a little bit more consistent. I mean, if something, I thought something needed that for everything. Don't have any other right now, do I? I mean, if it's 10%, or what we could also do, have a tag, because we actually need this also for a couple of other more modern architectures, this libatomic. I also wonder that GCC is like not automatically adding that. Cheers. If this would be my compiler, I would probably have introduced something to automatically add that as used. Like if this is used, then like libgcc or something. So what we could add is a tag for that, some libatomic tag. For packages are likely to require that, and if we wanted to be more specific, we could actually, what is there going, oh wait, is this, I mean, okay, this is harmless, it just didn't regenerate this, but we also needed to add this to M4 where we just removed it. If we didn't want like a global libatomic flag to always add this, we could actually conditionalize text, I thought actually for a while. I mean, there are always, what is unknown option DRI? What? Maybe we have there some conditional that is, maybe we have here some SPARC already, here. Look, we have here already this atomic is needed. Why is this DRI? Probably that one here. Also, we have drop frames again. 1100 drop frames with 2 Mbit, 3.7% because it is a Vodafone. Vodafone failing infrastructure. Yeah, thank you very much. Don't tell me they don't have an option anymore to disable that. Actually, let's do that. DI drivers, DI. Now we have some B inside here. Oh, here's DRI3. Maybe that is enough. And that is the major reason, right? You could argue, why do I even support, build and test this vintage stuff? No, that is still not enough. It's also in general to test a little bit non-mainstream. Could always also for Blackfin DSPs or other RISC-V if you build this kind of stuff to have these conditionals in place. Actually here is, okay, this is Mesa build 1645. With gallium, depth dependency, GNU herd includes without DRM, what? Or with, okay, there's also DRI2. GNU herd includes, they really have conditions for GNU freaking herd? Okay, it has apparently, it checks those drivers and assigns that to, okay. So we need, maybe it works if we have those DRI drivers empty. Do we have, what do we have here? Maybe we should, let's see what we run this with. Actually, it is empty. Why does it count then? I9, what is it, 9.5? Maybe there's a second conditional, maybe that is empty, but no, 3000 operands, it is hilarious. Anyway, you're not missing the most important frames. With gallium, a system has KMS DRM, GLXDI or EGL enabled, or so many conditionals. Maybe we need then GLX disabled. Yeah. Maybe we move that here. Maybe I should live stream over LTE. But this also, it was building in such a combination some year ago. The recurring theme, ever-changing stuff. Still doesn't build. Yeah, super, also modern build systems, right? I found, yes, this GNU configure autoconf stuff was not super amazing, but at least you could debug this. Wait, why do we have... wait, we have here LLVM. Oh, wait a second. Where is... this is actually not even in here. What have I... libdrm. Here. I moved this to the wrong... Let's hope that has an effect. Yeah, all this configure stuff, in my opinion, should be a little bit nicer. The people who applaud this probably, sure, if you build mainstream and it builds, then fine, good for you. GLX disabled. What else did we had here in this bloody Mason Ops? Is it GLX or what was it even, DRM? I think it was with DRI, EGL, GLX or EGL. Gallium, what exactly did we run there? Gallium drivers, actually we have a gallium driver, maybe we shouldn't. What else did we? Maybe we should remove that too. I mean, maybe we shouldn't also not modify it too much because 24 other combinations currently built. Quite a freaking large bee in here though. Maybe we should stop the live stream and get her out first. Before I get a sting here live on YouTube. The crazy thing is just this weekend I brought one out. I really like to come in here this spring. Actually, you know what? Maybe if we mostly build with that, maybe we add that here. Wish me luck. Oh, lip unwind. Hey, we got further though. OS Mesa Gallium requires gallium soft pipe or allium pipe. OS Mesa Gallium. Did it error out with lip unwind so? Do we have here some OS Mesa? Yeah, if you're wondering why we sometimes have, I mean, usually we try codeless packages, but if you're wondering why we sometimes have this crazy amount of codes, then yes, congratulations to this amazing complex package stuff. Here's OS Mesa true. What was exactly the, I also wonder if it's more lib unwind or runtime dependency lib unwind found. Lancet gallium. OS Mesa gallium soft pipe or didn't really ask for that, did we? I thought it will be easy to build it. The problem is we need Mesa for probably most of Xorg. I'm not sure if Xorg still... I mean, decades ago you probably could build it without Mesa, but I have the feeling you can't. Which line was it even? 1984? Are you kidding me? Okay, this is with OS Mesa. What was it? Gallium? Gallium? Did it require DRM? No, I lost overview. Do we have, I mean, we have LVM, right? Should we try gallium soft pipe? Ah, this is software Rust. Ah, they didn't name this. What did they say they wanted soft? Also, I would appreciate if they name the stuff, the options exactly the same. So we have moderate frames. Thank you very much. Would I fail? Require soft pipe or LLVM pipe? I mean, we basically built a Mesa without anything. I wonder if Xorg builds without OS Mesa. Is it the same or? Okay, maybe we remove this OS Mesa and see how far the build goes. I would really appreciate if such stuff would still build. So that would be basically everything we have libdrm maybe? Let's see what happens. This is unfortunately a little bit trial and error because this conditional stuff is of course so complex that you can't, you would need to be core developer. Actually it configures quite a while. Oh, it starts building. It starts building but fails quickly. Yeah, no kidding. GBM. I mean, what was this with this libdrm? Why did we disable that for SPARC? What exactly was that? Libatomic as unsupported stuff? I forgot. Okay, they have here, I saw already another, yeah, libatomic. I don't think simply using an old version, or darn, simply using an old version will probably not fix it, will it? If that even still builds with Mesa. Nope. That is why. Yeah, supporting old stuff somewhat lost course. Was it GBM or... Obviously nobody builds this anymore. These combinations. Wish me luck. I mean, X would be nice. Oh wow, that freaking build. Oh my god, I can't even believe that. Okay, but this is not GL enough. I wonder if... Yeah, so we built something, but that is... not really progress. That is disappointing. You know, what we could do is not build Xorg for now and just see how much of the other stuff builds. That it actually works. Until it works on real hardware, ignore this X11 stuff. That probably is a reasonable thing to do. And that's it. I mean, the crazy thing is, even some time ago, I had this X running on that. Wait a second, did this not reconfigure? Why does it still... Probably that didn't regenerate the config, obviously. I mean, it would be crazy if we at least get subversion, and then we need to get this actually booting. Yeah, I mean, it makes not the most sense to waste my time on getting some Mesa XOR combination to build. I somehow remember that it wasn't working in QEMU user emulation. Okay, that is some auto UI stuff. What do we build with? It's actually probably our stuff, maybe? Which one would that be? You know what, I'm not in the mood for wasting my time with that. This is only our own stuff that it's trying to build too much. I would need to adapt the config to not try to build UI stuff for Vim without UI stuff available. Yeah, this is also the stuff. Why is this even still breaking? I remember that... Did I not touch that? Oh. That there were upstream developers updating that again. We don't have that. Wait a second. 3.5 or... Is that stable? That is the thing, right, with those odd version numbers. Oops. No, this is still some long-term support apparently. Maybe we want to update that eventually. It's 2.3, right? 2.3.5. Yeah, I mean, the other stuff builds somewhat. Then I wonder if how much it works. Still need to finalize some stuff. Yeah, it's somehow, I mean, sure, you could install old software on vintage hardware, but if I, nearly alone, if one single YouTuber can keep the stuff somewhat building, mostly building, sure, there is no money. The problem is certainly there is no money in it. It's not mainstream, but it could be done, right? It's not that it's impossible. Also, sure, some latest Raspberry Pi has more compute power and energy efficiency. As we have, oh, Wim just may speak about this, right? Just as we have drop frames, 3000, yeah, so much to Vodafone is working on their shit. Right, this is, okay, we can simply disable that. This is just removed from glibc, so RPC proto, so we could simply mark this not SPARC for the time being. And then we can, yeah, I'm actually mostly interested whether this will work. Yeah, so SPARC Station 5, probably, this is the default, so that should work. Even freaking open SSH still builds. I wonder if it works. I think the last time I actually really used, or like tested, like not like daily driver use, but at least tested the OpenSSH did work, secure shell. It was obviously not super fast. I think key generation probably took long, and maybe even key exchange took a while. It's like, yeah, I need coffee. So, what failed? DHCP of all things. Yeah. Actually, I somehow remember that. That was crazy. Let's do that later. That's not the highest priority. What was actually the thing with? Maybe it was. Sorry. Spring. What should I say? Was it unsupported architecture? I remember that I debugged some bullshit here like that. What was that? I remember I saw this once. I think this was somehow if this didn't configure right. What was that? somehow need to... here, warning, cross to bind. Oh, this was so stupid. I remember I debugged this once, really long, like 15 or 13 minutes. Oh, this was stupid. Yeah. Okay, grub2 for SPARC, was it? Is it supported? I think not. Does it even... Would it be supported? And then at least it's a win-win of documenting properly, which built surprisingly long. Would it be SPARC IEEE 1275 or something? Wow, is that even built? Actually, now that I think about this, I think we need to default to Zelo. I saw in Zelo they had support for SPARC version 7 and 8, obviously, for example, with S, like diff step. I would guess... Actually, did SPARC open firmware boot in 32-bit? Probably. Was there only... Oh, questions over questions. I would be surprised if this SPARC I'm surprised that it built. I mean, this is the latest GDB, right? This would be... I mean, this is all rather complex software. And that is the crazy stuff, right? That most of the stuff builds... I mean, sure, glibc download. I mean, even the latest glibc, they could support this if they like really wanted to. Of course, it's not high performance and all the other stuff. Even the very latest GDB freaking build TM. How many are... I think I soon should add a proper progress indicator here for to go. This would be so cool. I mean, it's a little bit expensive to compute, and like expensive, iterating over all the log files. So maybe we could cache something or so. It would be so cool if that would output here 0 of 64 or whatever, 191 total build. So Linux kernel, that will be the next. They removed early SPARC stations. So I think the earliest is SPARC Station 5 or SPARC Station 10. Actually, maybe we should check what we built there. Maybe we should build a lower hertz though to waste less CPU cycles with context switching. Maybe we should default that to Zelo. I don't have the highest hopes that grub2 will work. Especially not on real V7 hardware. Where is even the... I wish the SPARC machine stuff would be more at the top. Where should they not be? I mean, they removed some, but do they not have a machine option anymore? Because only one supported. Yeah. Here's SPARC Leon. Here should be processor type and features, so strange. Why did we disable most of them here? Should we not need some of them potentially? At least, so I had CG6, I think I had. They are here though, why are they? Oh, they renamed the name. Oh, can you freaking believe that? This is hilarious. You can't make this shit up. Of course, they remove most of the support and then before they delete it the last years, and then they wonder, but nobody used it anymore. Yeah, thank you much. And this, I mean, I always wondered why they need to name it so stupidly. And then they rename it really before they delete it. You can't mix this shit up. Hey, that even built, we only need to rebuild the kernel because we just added. I mean, wait a second, there was something, we will see that in a second. Yeah, let's wait if it build, hopefully it does build. Yeah, I think Zilo, I mean, maybe grub has a chance to work. Grub 2, at least for, would that be version 8 maybe? Maybe it even does work. Because now that I think about this, we always had only one Zilo. And that, so that must probably have been always 32-bit apparently. When we continue with our microkernel and low-level stuff, we will see more low-level open firmware boot stuff. Now we have those, which we... I would guess that should be... Is it used in SPARC, hopefully? Wait a second, which one was it? It was somehow strangely named. Ah, SPARCbook. And whether that is still supported, who knows, huh? SPARCbook would be really nice, though. I mean, not that it would be practical or stuff, and I don't want to collect even more stuff, but it would be nice. So... where's even this bee? Didn't hear her for a while. Maybe I should have brought her out more quickly. Let's see. Passes away here. I wonder, you know what, we can already scroll up, and I think there was some other error. What was it? No such file. Oh, wait a second, there's a typo. why? Oh, here's Zilo. But interesting. Why would that not default to grub 2, or did we? Or did we only add this option for? SPARC boot config in. Was it here? I guess we didn't have that yet. Yeah, after all of this stuff. Okay, good. Maybe we should reconfigure after we added this boot option. And yeah, grab 2. I wonder if that will work. Oh shit. Oh, shit. Nothing like destroying this config live on YouTube. Cannot stat SPARC. Okay, actually this was SPARC 64. I triple. Wait a second. Does it mean we actually built for? Okay, that doesn't look particularly. What did we even build? Somehow didn't build any lib. Maybe it only built user space stuff. So much to being happy that it built something, not something usable. Wait, it built for SPARC version 8 none? That is interesting. Okay, I guess we disable that for now. Why do we have SPARC in here though then? And then we also don't need the, maybe we leave it there as a reminder, but we just added. And at least test with good old Zilo. At least we test the Zilo code pass for something. SPARC also too much memory for this machine. Yes, thank you very much. Here you get this memory. Hey, it does something. Too large to fit into destination. Thank you. Ah, shit, right, there was some. Ah, this was, you know what this was? Now I remember. Ah. The kernel got too large. Yes, there was something. Actually, wait a second. Did we not enlarge that to... maybe we could actually patch Zilo, although whether that works on real hardware. How did we boot this the last time? How did we boot that ever? Yeah, so this limitation is right. This was that. Probably I got it mostly building the last time, and then it's like this image is too large. I mean, we could I mean, maybe I keep this as a toy project. I think the Open Hitchhiker's Guide to Open Firmware Development said you can't rely on more than 6 or 7 megabyte to be mapped. We could patch that away and maybe it works in QEMU, and whether it works on real hardware might be a Heisenbug experience then. How large is it stuff? I said this some video ago, some live stream ago. What we could do as a win-win, also yeah, the kernel is of course, it's like, yeah, 5 megabyte kernel. We could probably remove some features, but I had something similar with the IBM B50 RS6000, where it also took me like a whole day to configure Linux kernel down so small that it loaded there. There was like 6 megabyte. What we probably would want, and I said this some live stream ago, is some super smallest possible Linux kernel config, and that actually would be helpful for some other embedded use cases, 32-bit RISC-V. So this would be not time totally wasted, but actually some useful feature for those who would the really truly most minimal Linux kernel config. I mean, we could. I thought they increased that in Zilo already recently. I have here some debug patch. What was it? Actually, I added that. I improved this. So this message is already an improvement from me. File limit, file buffer, which was what? So this is file limit versus file buffer. Block count. The C code is always whatever, something. I think this was also with memory allocations. I think this was maybe not even the easiest to change. I think they used the top for heap allocations or something, as far as I remember. Yeah, okay, so much to that. I mean, we could try if the kernel at least boots for a test. Yeah, we are as far as the last time. I should have made a note that this is not loadable. Actually, I wonder why is it somehow on SPARC 64 not such a memory limitation? Apparently, I mean, maybe they were forward thinking and increased the map memory. Okay, this is no root and stuff. Maybe it would init.rd. Actually, we can use a mini init.rd and this will both work. Alright, this is of course. Yeah, so much to that. Attempted to kill init. But the init, so, I mean, something is not amazing here. I mean, obviously. But the user space works somewhat, so whatever. Why did it want to kill that though? Kernel panic, not thinking. So init crashed itself, which is our shell. So somehow our shell crashed. I I wish it would print out more though. But this means that the user space works a little bit more than, actually, you know what, we could probably give us our give us a shell with init equals bin sh. But in QEMU the user space does not work at all, so that works significantly more than others also. Should we wait a second? Why does it? Should this not? Why does it run init and not? Nah. Also, this verbose does, by the way, not work. Should that work? Oops, I wanted 9. I think I tapped 8. Yeah. Ah no, I typed 9. Why does it not print anything, or is it the frame buffer which? By the way, the no graphic is somewhat helpful to potentially have more stuff on the log. Hello? Does maybe maybe that doesn't have the serial console? Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That was... Yeah, probably, I mean, I had the glibc overlay, so probably I had it working as much and forgot about it, because obviously we do too much stuff. It's crazy that in the year... They must have changed it the last years. It's hilarious. Maybe I should not have removed this. I think I... Even why is uVesa available for... Actually, you know what is the thing? If we want a truly minimal config, then linking all those frame buffer drivers in does obviously not really help for the smallest possible driver. Yeah, this is kind of stuff. Why is this uVesa selectable? That is somewhat, yeah. And if we needed the most simple, the smallest kernel, then obviously we, yeah, we, whatever. Can't build all of them in potentially. I mean, we could quickly, I mean, this stuff is not fully stable, unfortunately. Should this not work though? I mean, we could try the regular init.rd. Maybe some file missing, you never know, didn't test it often. Oh cool, that illegal instruction. But is that in what, in the emulator? Interesting. I think this must be a fluke, because this is probably clobbering some memory with the init.rd, I guess, because the other one worked. I don't think there should not be an illegal instruction. That must be memory clobbering with a larger init.rd. Yeah, I'm somehow puzzled that should this init equal, should this not work, or I don't know, maybe Maybe the kernel, actually I think the kernel has this hard-coded, I think the kernel, Linux kernel, runs init from the init.rd. It only has init equals something, the init.rd handles that then. Anyway, it works a little bit. The rest would be fixable eventually, theoretically. I only wonder if... Where is the Zilo git? Is that here? Would this be... Hey, 23 months. Is it dev m or... No other Zilo? Where do we get it from even? Yeah, dev m. I remember they made this larger. Some time ago. Supports super large images. But that is TLO, probably for SPARC 64. Yeah, so it's not changing one constant, that is... larger images in 4 megabyte, at least Sun maps 10 megabyte. Thank you very much. But this is also crazy that on Sun Ultra 5 you would have only 10 megabytes. That is so crazy. Revert Zilo, move second to make room for larger kernel. Here, 2009. SPARC 32 kernel is loaded at second is loaded. That means that the largest kernel that can be loaded is 2.6 megabyte. Thank you very much. SPARC kernels have been larger than that. Initializes, OVP initializes 3 megs of memory. And yeah, almost impossible to strip down a kernel small enough to actually load. Yeah, thank you very much. Second is only 40k, so most of the megabyte is wasted. This patch moves second to, which leaves room for this doesn't fix the SPARC 32 boot problem because you still need to compile everything as a module and strip the executable. But in the it's a short-term fix. Long-term fix is to make the SPARC kernel relocatable. Ah, yeah, thank you very much. The first step is to make Zilo load a large SPARC 32 kernel. This patch has been submitted 2 years ago. That fixes the Zilo side. I have tested that patch and it does fix the problem of decompressing a large kernel. However, SPARC 32 kernel is not relocatable, so Zilo tries to move the kernel down to low memory, but refuses because there is no room for large kernel. I think the patch should go into Zilo so that Zilo will be ready for a relocatable SPARC 32 kernel. Does someone really think someone will ever work on that? Linux has some issues with large kernels capable of relocating. It is capable of relocating itself from up to higher memory, but has a hard-coded size limit of... Try to relocate a smaller image by changing the header version, which should support relocation. Zilo was okay with that, but the kernel boot fails with an illegal instructions. The kernel is not okay with being loaded to an arbitrary location yet. I'm looking into changing Linux to be relocatable from an arbitrary address, but that requires that the 2-year-old larger kernel patch be applied first. And then they reverted that. Thank you very much. I mean, not that it would. Yeah, that is, if you're wondering. Oh, wait, this is not what I... Here's a revert. Let's say a revert Report that this causes Sunblade system failed to boot. Oh, cool. Thank you very much. One step forward, one step back. Yeah, so what do we do with that? That is certainly not the most usable yet. Maybe we should add proper to-dos. Do we have SPARC? Kernel, also Mesa. Okay, some issues. Yeah, it's certainly not really the best time spent for me to work on, obviously. Actually, I forgot about this hackery here. Anyway, I guess what do we do with it now? This is also why I didn't publish it the last time. I mean, it's crazy. I wonder what... I mean, it must be... Yeah, so something is not well with that. And the question as always is that the... Is it QEMU or the real... or the... Which is the default here even? So the default is SPARC Station 5. Do they have SPARC Station 10? Ah, there is SPARC Station 10. Let's see if SPARC Station 10 does something. I mean, it will still not be able to load the kernel though. Just want to see if now this fails the same. So yeah, echo works. So some shell built-ins do work. This also means that QEMU emulation is differently broken there then. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I cleaned this up a little bit. Yeah, so this state of vintage and retro stuff is increasingly difficult, obviously. I mean, at least some people still work. Actually, wait a second, this was 2014, right? So probably it's fair to say that, like, it's been a decade, so I guess. I mean, you never know. I mean, people also do Nintendo 64 stuff. The thing is, the log of this stuff is also so large that even if you wanted to, I mean, the thing is they only adopt APIs, right? And then they break more and more stuff. You wouldn't even easily find if the last decades they did here any relocatable. So that was 2011. Yeah, so there goes that idea. Anyway, hope you learned something, especially since vintage and retro stuff is mostly pointless or waste of time. And some stuff, yeah. I wonder if, I mean, we could test it. Actually, you know what? We could test the binaries on the user space is, of course, fully forward compatible. So we could run it on 64-bit kernel, Ultra SPARC. Maybe I do this sometime soon. Anyway, that's it for this video. Need to think what we do with it. Hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe and talk to you soon for more interesting, useful stuff to come.